Alright, now that our scav is ready, go ahead and click that. We'll hit next. Now you can see we have a couple of options here. All these ones that say not available, all of them are also not available on your PMC because these maps are actually not in the game yet, with the exception of labs. You cannot do a scav run on labs. If you're a new player, don't even worry about this map. That's going to be something that you handle later on. So for now, you have a scav run. You'll learn all of these maps at one point or another. I suggest going to each of these maps a couple of times, getting a feel for them, learning the extracts, all that. It's usually wise to have a map open, or something that you can study beforehand so that you have a general idea of where you're going. For our case, let's say that I'm a new player. I know that I need to go to customs for that task, so it would be wise for me to take the scav run to customs to scout it out. So we're actually going to do that right now. You have two different time options right here. If I recall, nighttime starts at 21:30, and the daytime starts at about 5:30 to 6. Any time in between then is going to be either day or night, depending on which way you go. And night is usually fairly dark, but the moon does come out. You do get a fair bit of light with that. We do have some cloud cover here though, so I would not advise going at night on this one. So we're just going to hit this, go into daytime. This is your lobby screen right here. Don't really have to worry about this, but if you start playing with friends, this is where you're actually going to right click, invite to group, boom. You'll be good to go. But for now, we're just solo, so we're just going to go ahead and hit ready. And I'm going to see you in there. Okay, so now we're in. There's a scav right there. First thing that we want to do is we want to do an equipment check. So we're going to dip inside here where it's nice and safe. Take a D. Alright, so our scav run actually gave us some unusually good stuff. One is a labs key card. We got a factory key. Then we got this pumping station key. It's not super important for us right now, but we do want to try to get out because this is actually a lot of money right here, especially for us early on. Do an ammo check. Running PST GZH, which is pretty standard. Good. So now our main goal is to get out. We already got plenty of good stuff right now. So we'll double tap O. You're going to find Admin Gate and Trailer Park Workers Shack are the two extracts we could take. Now I know the Trailer Park Workers Shack is actually over this way across the bridge and is a very safe way for us to go. So we're going to make our way there. While we do so, we are going to try to get a little bit more out. One of the things that we can do is kill other scavs in order to acquire some loot. So let's go take a look at what that other one had that was wandering out here, if we could find him. If we can't find him, we'll just leave him for the sake of time. Another issue that we're dealing with is that we don't really know where the players are at this point. So we gotta be a little bit cautious. Now obviously I have the advantage of already knowing the map. I know where I'm going. I know exactly where my extracts are and all that. So just make sure that whenever you're moving, you don't have to go as fast as me anywhere. You can take your time. Make sure that you're maintaining your safety above all else. And right now, we have nothing. So, every little thing that we can pick up, we want to pick it up. Now, it should be noted when you're playing on a scav, all the experience you gain in this raid will not go to your PMC. It will not get you any progress. All you're using the scav run for is pure money. We're going to crawl under this train. Okay, so we got a shot to the right over there. Given that we already have fairly decent stuff for a new player, we're actually going to avoid that. Normally, you'd actually go for something like that as a player scav because you have nothing to lose. I might have seen something. Oh, it's just a regular scav. I whiffed my shots on it, too. Well, now that we've aggroed him, we have to take him. He's inside. Light on. And we got him. Let's see what he's got. So he's got one of those scav vests like we talked about. He also has a helmet that will be kind of damaged. Then he's got a Taz that I don't really care too much about. But we're going to take as much as we can anyway. So these are actually the worker shacks right here. So we'll just come down here. Get in this area. Oop. Stop there. And there too, I guess. Now that we're out, now you're going to see there's 1,000 experience right there. There's the one scav that we killed. Now, okay, now this is the big thing right here. You're going to take all of the stuff that you got. I like to pull it all out. You can do this quickly. By left control and left click, we'll pull it straight in. You can do that. And we're pulling everything off of him. So, now, from here, I know that this is valuable to us, but not until we get the flea market. Same thing with this factory key. We can actually use this factory key as well, so we're going to pull those. This is another handgun that's going to prove to be useful to us as well. These knives we can sell to Purpore. This helmet is something we want to keep and use. Taz I don't really care about. Another cheese stick, and another bandage. Perfect. Now the rest of this, we're going to be keeping based not on what we can actually use in raid, or, well, these ones we're selling anyway. Not on what we can actually use in raid, but now what we can get out of it. So this, I know I can get some ripstop out of it. So we're going to set it down here. This duffel bag, yes, it's a bag, but we can get much better bags more often than not. So we're actually going to go ahead and sell all of this stuff now. Alright? So the best way to do this before you get the flea market, pretty simple. We're going to go to Therapist first. Anything that Therapist will take, give it to her. Then we're going to go down to Mechanic. We're going to sell anything we can to him. Then to Ragman, who will usually take all of our wearable items. Just like that. Beautiful. Now when it comes to the knives, normally you're actually going to sell them to Jaeger. But in this case, you're probably going to have to sell them to either Purpore or Fence. I think it's Fence in this case. Yep, just like that. Now, you're not really getting the maximum value out of all these. That is just fine. No need to worry about it. So this is a weapon that we picked up in the raid. We got our labs card that we're going to deal with later, and a factory key that we can use on factory and on customs. That's actually a very unique key right there. We're going to use some of the funds that we used. Right there. Now we've got a helmet. Perfect. Now, something to note, you can't do a scav raid all the time. As you can see here, we have 17 minutes to the next raid. Typically what you're going to do is you're going to take a PMC, play a normal raid. Once you get through that raid, you will then be able to have a scav run up. I wouldn't use the scav run unless your character is injured and you need to make a little bit of money back. That's the best way to use this, because this is going to be a random kit every single time. You don't know fully what you're going to get. It's better to go in prepared with what you know you're going to have. Alright? Now, something we can do, we can get this pack of armor since we do have a helmet to invest a little bit again. What this will do is it's going to take us down a little bit lower than what we had before. So before we had about 88,000, this will actually take us down to about 80,000 right there. Which isn't bad, but remember, when you're investing, the chances of that return coming back to you is all dependent on your playstyle. If you're not very confident in your playstyle just yet, don't invest too much. Meaning, instead of doing that, we can take this helmet, set it to the side for now, and we can just go in with this stuff. In fact, we can just take the handgun that we picked up because it was free, and the magazines that it came with. We're going to unload this, do a little ammo check on this. So here you actually have more than enough ammo to deal with a single raid, especially if you're going to be avoiding players for the first bit, focusing on your tasks. Now, you can come down here, you can top off that magazine if you want to. I'm actually not going to. I'm just going to set that there. I'm going to take note that I have 10 rounds in that magazine, and I'm going to try to find more ammo in the raid that I go into here, right? Another thing that you can do, and some people might prefer this, you can actually take off your backpack, you can take off your rig, and you can use the scav vest that you went in with. You don't have a lot of space to work with, but you will have a higher chance of picking up scav gear and all that. In this case, I'm wanting that for ripstop. I'm going to make sure that I keep this stuff on. I want more space. Now with this container, anything you put in this container is going to be secure. It will come back to you, alright? So what a lot of people like to do is they'll put their medications in here to begin with. So right now that would be like a cheese square. I'd probably do 2 bandages and then 1 splint. That's about all that I would do right now. And then go into raid, find more medication, and get better medication, is what I would suggest. So we're going to go ahead and go through that on this next one. We'll take this exact kit, everything that you see here, we're going to use it to try to make something.